Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Lee Grand, and recently we have been experimenting a ton with different vibe coding apps. And so in the last video I was working with Base44 and we were trying to see what it can do, what it can't do, how it was working, and I ended off leaving that video kind of disappointed because I was like, oh man, it didn't work, it crashed it. But then I left that video and I got off my laptop, and about 20 minutes later I started hearing a hum. I don't know if you can hear it in this video right now. And I was like, what is that humming noise? It's coming from my laptop. What's going on? So I opened up my laptop and I saw it's working. It's working. So in the last video, I left off a little bit in a disappointed attitude, but now I'm coming back to this in a much more optimistic attitude because watch this. Look at this. Let me get myself a little bit smaller. Okay, here we go. Look, and that's where the humming was coming from. Let me mute it. See? Okay. Now, watch this. Remember in the last video, it was broken that we couldn't make it such that it was able to move. It refused to move, but watch this. It actually moves. Oh man, look at that. Now, as we can see, like the trees don't seem to stay constant in what they're doing, and it's obviously not continually generated. We just have a forest here. Okay, kind of like this. So now what I want to do is I want to see if we can change the seasons. Let's do 1. Let's do 2. Okay, nighttime. Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, number 3, winter. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love it. Okay. Let's do 4. What was 4? Autumn. Okay. Here we go. So, what do we want to do? Now, let's see if we are able to add characters in here. So, I want to be able, or add small human-like characters into this game. How do I want them to interact with us? Make the landscape such that the forest keeps going as I walk through it. I want and it should be generated, and I should keep seeing the other characters randomly throughout the game. I don't know if this is a good prompt or not, but let's just try that. Let's see if it works. Okay. Did it... Okay, it's thinking. It's thinking. See, we got our tokens back. We're good. Okay. And I remember this one, we're not able to see it like rapidly iterating through. On cursor, it's kind of cool because you can see it writing thousands of lines of code every single minute. But this one, it just shows thinking. But look at this. I'm very impressed. Like, this is very good. Let me go to 1. Dawn light path. Okay. So, like, look at this. This is nice. I mean, obviously, it's weird that they're... I don't know why they're changing every time I scroll. That's not really what we're supposed to be doing. They are... I'm noticing that they are staying in place, right? Like, so look at this trunk right here. This trunk is not going to move. This trunk is not going to move. This trunk is not going to move. So they're, like, fixed in place, and it works. But just their bushy part of the tree is changing each time I touch the mouse. Okay, let's see. Oh. So, okay, it's still thinking. Fine. I thought I broke it. Still thinking. Okay, and we don't even have anything to play with anymore. Darn. What if I change it to, like, nocturnal? So it changes the background, but we don't get those trees anymore. Okay. Okay, the snow came. The snow came back. Thinking. It's cool how the snow is operating in that way. Is it I'm trying to identify, is it changing brightness or size? I'm looking at this this one right here, because obviously it's moving in the X and Y direction, but I can also see it has this 3D pattern. And I'm trying to see, is it changing in size? Yeah, it has to be changing in size. Yeah, it's changing in size. I was thinking it's either changing in size or intensity, and I think it's doing both. I think it's whiter when it's closest, and it's more translucent as it goes back. So it's really cool. And it looks randomly generated, like some are closer, some are farther away. Very good. I love that. So one of the things that I'm trying to do with these vibe coding videos is I'm trying to understand what are these different tools capabilities, how to use them to make myself more efficient, what are the use cases that I can use them for, and so what that might look like in the future, right, is if I figure out, okay, well, they're really good at starting a base like this, for example. Okay, well, maybe I can take this base and the structure and then go forward with that myself. Or maybe I get better and better at prompting such that I'm able to create more impressive projects that way. So I don't really know where I'm going, but that's kind of the point of these videos, is to just experiment with things and see what's out there. What are we able to do? How is this working? And just see what we're able to come up with. Okay, so it's still thinking. It's thinking for a while. So it's been thinking for, I think, 5 minutes now. So is my computer... No, my computer is not getting hot. So, yeah, I'm curious. I get a lot of people, well, not a lot of people watching my videos, but some people watching my videos, and I'm curious, what are you guys using vibe coding for? Like, what do you use it for? What do you find it's really good at? What do you think it's not so good at right now? Where do you find it useful? And what are you hoping to be able to utilize it in the future? How is it going to increase your productivity? And the other thing that I'm curious, are you an engineer, or are you, like, what I mean by that is, do you have, like, do you build apps just from scratch yourself? Or are you just one of the people who is going at it from the creative side, where you were saying, oh, I have this really nice idea, which, by the way, in my opinion, is actually the hardest part. That's another thing that's kind of interesting about vibe coding, is it's changing my mindset. So the way that I'm always thinking about things as an engineer is how. I'm hyper fixated on how, all of the technical details of how something is to be accomplished. How do you make it work? Even the snow, how is this working? What is it doing? Whereas I have not trained my brain to say, what should I build? That was a very weird feeling when I started vibe coding, what, 2 or 3 videos ago. I got to the screen and it just gave me a prompt, a prompt box to put what I wanted to build. And I was, uh, uh, well, I don't really know. Because I don't think about that. I don't think about the the what I should build. I don't think about it from the creative side. I'm always thinking about the how. So it was a very interesting change in my thinking to start being like, okay, well, not just what can I do technically, but what would be a cool project? What would be interesting? What would be creative? What would be right? It's a very different shift in your mindset. Okay, this one is thinking. But I wish that I could see like what it's actually writing as it's going along, because when cursor is doing it, it's a lot easier just to be patient because you know that it's working. Now I'm just getting this like gray thinking box. I know that we can go into like dashboard and go into like code or something. Components, whispering. I mean, obviously it's writing a ton. Particle systems. So, I mean, look at all this math. Like, yeah, this. Yeah. Math.random. This is the velocity. So we're calculating the velocity in the XYZ direction. Um, so another thing that I want to do is eventually, once I start getting a little bit more familiar with like building something, like once this actually kind of builds a little bit, I want to be able to I want to go and look at the code just kind of more in depth, and that is going to be able to allow us to see what we wrote as the prompt, what we're seeing as the application, and also what it actually did. So trying to connect all three of these things together. Okay. Default function. Unfortunately, actually, I'm very, very incompetent at anything game because I've never touched game development at all. And so, actually, vibe coding is my first time touching anything close to games. So, a lot of this I have no idea, but it'll be a new opportunity for us to learn. So that's that'll be nice because I'll be able to learn a new area, and also while I'm learning it, I can get insights as to what AI is thinking, how it built it, were the design decisions that they made, and from that we can gain some insights. Okay, it might be stuck. If this persists, try to stop the chat. How do you revert your last message? How do you revert? Okay. Oh, I can do revert to this. Okay, so it's still thinking. All right, so it's having some issue here. I'm going to press revert just because I'm curious, like, what it's doing. The code has been running for a while. It might be stuck, which is why it would be very helpful for me to see if it was generating code or if it was just not doing anything. But I just have this message here saying thinking, so I don't know what it's doing. So I don't know if it's stuck or if it's just writing a whole bunch of code. Do we want to revert? I kind of want to do revert just because I want to see if it actually is able to successfully revert. What are the other options we have here? What is this? Switch to mobile view, refresh. Okay, no. What do you think? How it is 8:19 right now. Let's give it 3 more minutes. So let's chill out for 3 more minutes, and if it's still thinking, it's been thinking for over 12 minutes now. I mean, it's not unreasonable, right? Like, that's kind of what cursor was I didn't time cursor because it didn't feel that cursor took that long because I could see it doing its additions to the code. And so it's easier to be patient in that situation because you see that it's actually working. Here, I don't know if it's working or not. Let's I said that we were gonna wait 3 more minutes. It's only been 1 minute. I can change the, let's see, come to 4. I can change here, but it just changes the background. It also resets the snow, right? Yeah. And it looks like the snow is just in the forest area. So it's not procedurally generated. It's just the entire world lives in this section. And nothing is out here in this section. I believe the ground was infinite, though. Okay, we're going to revert this. Okay. All right, there we go. Now we should be able to come here and do this. Yep. Okay, cool. Got this back. Try to make it full screen. There we go. Let's just can we like come on. Be full screen. Come on. You can go this way, but not that way? Wait, hold on. Hey, here we go. Okay, let's do that. I just like how beautiful it looks. Okay, dawn light. Let's just cycle through them again. So what I'm planning on doing is just cycling through each one of these, kind of just enjoying what it is, and then from that, I think we are going to go and try investigating the code and just seeing what's going on. Okay, so this is like the daylight one. So we have here and here. Okay. The other thing that I'm noticing is like right now I'm pressing the down button and I'm going forward, so that's not quite right. it should be the other way around, but I mean, I'm happy. The left goes left, the right goes right, so but that's fine. Okay, number 2 is nocturnal. Here, let's go to nighttime. Although it just feels like winter a little bit here. Like I like. Yep. Look at that. This is so cool. Although, again, when we're moving, it's like having some kind of like spaz attack in the sky. So there's definitely a lot of bugs here, but I mean, this is really impressive. This is very impressive. I'm impressed. Okay. Number 4. Autumn. Okay, I like number 2 the best. This Nocturnal Grove. I like the ambiance of this one. It seems nice. Was number 1 like fog though? I like the fog the best. Yeah. This one's nice too. Okay, so let's go into the dashboard. Okay. So we just hold on, let me get the audio. Okay. So let me go into the dashboard, and should we just look at some of the code? So I guess the first question, this one looks more like let me move myself so I'm not. Okay. So what are we working with? Is import React. Export default function const. Is this JavaScript right here? It looks like JavaScript. Okay, so const moods. We have these. It's like a different, almost dictionary of different moods that we're able to have, and each item stores the settings of that mood. So like dawn light, what is the color schema? The sky is like this, the fog is this color, the ambient is this color, the accent is this color. So it's creating moods and then associating attributes to that mood. So you have Nocturnal Grove, same thing, winter, same thing, autumn, same thing. If we wanted another one, we could just automatically do that and just add another one here. Obviously, we would need to go and implement it in other places of the code, which I have no idea where else this is implemented, but this is kind of how it's keeping track of what the different settings are for each of the moods. Okay, so export default function, Whispering Woods. I'm guessing that this is like the startup. Okay, do we do import components? Let me see. Import from forest environment. We import the current directories component, Whispering Forest. That's going to be this one. Whispering, and then forest environment right there. Particle system is okay, so I guess we don't import the particle system. I'm guessing one of the other ones in here, probably forest environment, does particle. Yep, there it is. Okay, so they're just like code. Okay. But we do the forest environment. We have the audio manager. Okay, here we have the input controller and the mood indicator. Okay, so these are the components that we use for the main startup, which is rendered onto our background, onto our web browser. Const, okay. So we first set it off as the dawn light, which is correct. That's what we saw and observed when we started up the application. It starts off at dawn light. Okay, so, and we're not moving. So we have two variables, like is moving, set is moving, okay. Player position, set player position. So this is where we currently are located. This is the time of day. This is the, if audio is or is not available. Like, for example, when I come, let's go to preview here, and then I press A. See? So press A, and we have sound. Press A again, and we don't have sound. Although I did notice, okay, so we're also able to use WASD. So WDS, and now notice A, when I press A, it doubles as the same thing. This one is move left, but it's also the audio toggle on and off, which logically does not make sense. So we should have been maybe more explicit in what we were asking. It did not do that automatically. It did not say, oh, it doesn't make sense to have two different functionalities for the exact same button. It didn't recognize that logic. So we came into that. Also, I'm noticing it has this thing called still and my position, and so I'm able, this is kind of a nice other thing, is how we're able to kind of view it as we are moving along. Okay, let's go back to the code here. And come to code. All right, so we're gonna go back to the main startup. So we have all of these definitions and kind of like state variables. And then use effect, we have an anonymous function, which is here, right? Look at the indentation. Set time of day. So we are here, right? There. Right? I think so. Okay. Okay, so const interval equals set interval, and then another lambda function. Oh my goodness. Okay. Set time of day. Const new time equals previous plus time speed. Okay, so we're just constantly updating our time and then getting that new time. So that's what this is doing. So it's just returning the new time. And now this return goes where? Anonymous functions always throw me off. And then what's this 50 doing? Return here, clear interval, and then current mood. Okay. So what I am actually going to do is come here, move this over, and now let me actually just start a new one. Copilot. And now I'm going to ask it, explain this code. Okay. In specific, tell me about how the anonymous functions are working and returning. Data. Okay, so while it's doing its thinking, handle mood, and we're doing similar things here. Okay, time of day, animate. So here's another interesting, important one. Const elapsed time. So we're getting the elapsed time progress. New mood. Okay. Handle movement. So we have all of these different functions within the main function, okay? So handle movement, this is where set player position, we just changed the position. I'm guessing that this is one within like input controller. Let's look for input controller, and we should see handle movement, update movement. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Where would it be defined then? I almost want to delete this. I only want to use, see, A is to toggle audio, but it's also to have movement. Update movement here. But I don't think that's what it was called, right? This one was called handle movement, and we passed in... Oh my goodness, I really need to get more comfortable and familiar with Lambda functions. Okay. Well, that is something that I need to note about myself. Good thing to practice, I guess. Man, how is this working? So handle movement equals position. I have not used, oh man, okay. I'm kind of, let's see. Let's come here. So use effect with the parentheses. This is a React hook. Okay, I haven't used React either. I know React is like a JavaScript framework. I've never touched it. I think it's for like web development, I think, that runs side effects in a component. I don't know what a component is either. It runs whenever the dependency current mood changes. So this is okay, so no wonder I was so confused, because it seems like it's not normal JavaScript. And I actually have I have some experience with JavaScript. I mean, we did some videos and projects on this YouTube channel where I was going through and learning JavaScript, but that's the extent of my knowledge with JavaScript, is like Node.js and using Express. So I had never seen this before, and this seems like it's specific to React. Creates a repeating timer that executes every 50 milliseconds. How would you have ever known that without knowing what set interval does, right? Okay. This is a cleanup function. When the component unmounts or current mood changes, the old interval is cleared. Prevents memory leaks or multiple overlapping intervals. Okay. The returned data is the updated time of day. Okay. Maybe we can go here, because this seems a lot more simple. Let's just look at this. Let's see how it's doing on this. All right. So this one is a much smaller one. Toggle audio. This defines a function called toggle audio. Okay. So it's equal to, it doesn't take any parameters. Okay, so inside here, we have this is equal to something. Inside the parentheses is where we put the parameters of our function. Okay. So like mood key is a parameter into our function. And then arrow is what we return. Its purpose is to flip the audio state. Okay, so set audio enabled here. And this is another anonymous function where I believe we pass in previous and we return the opposite of previous. Okay, so, and then we pass this, the result of this function here, into the set audio enabled function here. Yes. And then do we return that? The function itself doesn't return anything, no return keyword. Instead, it updates this. Okay, so then it doesn't return anything. Set audio enabled. Audio manager. Where would be set audio enabled? I would guess it would be part of this right here, right? On audio toggle, on movement, on mood change. I actually don't know. Use effect, use effect, use effect. Whoa. And it wrote a whole bunch of math functions regarding like the intensity of the sound, I'm guessing. I mean, look at all of this. This white noise. So it has different sounds based off of which mood it is. Create audio layers. Okay. So oscillations in the sound. I mean, just from impressions, it's really cool what it's able to do and how it's able to write so much code with just like a couple lines of input that I gave it, and it's able to go through all of this. And yeah, as of right now, like I'm looking at it and I'm struggling to figure out like exactly how it's working. Obviously, given some time, I would be able to figure this out, but it's really impressive. I really am looking at this and like, wow, okay, this is really cool what it's able to do. Now, obviously, as we see with like look at this. Obviously, with what we're seeing with like the application here, it's not perfect. There's not, I mean, when we come here, we do get all of this weird like flashing stuff, especially when we go to like nighttime. Go on. Why is it not? There we go. Okay, cool. So especially when we're like at nighttime, right? And then if I move, we'll see that it's really flashing because it's during the movement stage, we're not having it night. There's no movement mood or something. So there's some bugs in it. But how much of that would be difficult to troubleshoot if you kind of knew what I'm imagining right now is someone who kind of knows about how to use JavaScript and React and knows a little bit about game mechanics, and then they were the ones who were vibe coding, they tested it out, and then were able to go into the code and kind of like a scalpel fix the parts that they were unsatisfied with. And this way, they can write all of those lines of code within one afternoon and then go in and fix it for themselves. So I'm thinking about, okay, well, how do I test that out and how do I experiment with that? Either I can, number one, get kind of reasonable with JavaScript, React, or I can try to do vibe coding in something that I'm a little bit more familiar with. So I haven't quite decided how I'm going to move forward into the future, but this is something that I want to keep going at, continue learning about how to use AI effectively and trying to experiment with what are some of the tools available so that I can increase my productivity. So if that is interesting, subscribe to this channel. I'm going to keep making AI videos. I'm going to keep trying to learn for myself, become a better prompt engineer, try to become a better vibe coder, try to look at also what are the different benchmarking tools that I can use to see the different models. I know that AI is actually a huge like how do you hook different things up? So if you have like an MCP server, like how do you actually hook that up? How do you give it custom data? All of this stuff I want to explore. I want to learn more about this realm. So we're going to be heading that way in the future videos. If that's interesting, subscribe. I would love to have you along for the journey. Thank you guys for watching this video. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and I'll see you guys in the next one.